Hello, 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 hello. Shadow, thank you very much. Shadow, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. How are we feeling? How are we feeling doing? I'll be honest with you. I'm a little tired. Sleep has become more of a luxury than a guarantee. So I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired, Squirtle. You also might be noticing that I'm going to attempt to cover up my nose with the microphone. Because I don't know if you can see it, but I have a giant zit growing on my nose that is in that pre-zit stage where it's just really red and large and taking up a very large portion of my nose. 34 months. Shadow, I mean, I know it's not a lot of money, but I still feel like you're wasting it. Thank you very much for supporting. For supporting the stream. I appreciate it. What to talk about, huh? I know that when I originally envisioned this stream, autocorrect screwed me over. I know when I originally envisioned this stream on Sunday mornings, there'd be kind of like a impromptu sermon. Maybe I should stop subbing and just buy drugs and alcohol. Shadow, you know that this stream does not condone the use of drugs and alcohol. It condones the watching of movies and the overanalyzing of such. But yes, I appreciate your continued support. It gives me life, keeps me going. But when it comes to this stream and having something to say, there are really two things that I can think of saying that were kind of grinding my gears, as they say. One has to do with church itself. So there are two movies out that one could describe. Speaking of movies, I saw a shitty movie that everyone else loves. What movie is that? I'll get into this and then I'll come back to what movie you're talking about. There's two movies out that are basically like propaganda. One of which is Donnie Darko. One of which is The Sound of Freedom, and then there's another one, I think it's like called The Essential Church or something. And I haven't seen either of them. But from what I understand of The Sound of Freedom, it's about the human trafficking trade, which of course is a very serious thing, and I'm not in any position to pretend like it's not a serious thing. But from what I understand, they are pointing the finger in that film at a very specific group of people, and the makers of it are coming out and spouting QAnon conspiracies about human trafficking. And I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. But the truth of the matter is, human trafficking is happening everywhere. Pedophiles are doing their horrible things, and people are doing horrible things, and it doesn't matter what side of the aisle they're on. they're on both sides. Because the truth of the matter is, horrible people with money will do horrible things. Not just the ones that you don't like for political reasons. Approximately 800 billion babies are kidnapped and sent to South Africa for their blood. The internet wouldn't lie. The thing that always bothers me about those conspiracies is they're whipping up people's natural outrage for what's happening to children and happening to people. And they say, oh my gosh, this many people are being human trafficked. Those damn liberals. And it really frustrates me because what they're doing is they're dangling something that will obviously make you upset to try and bait and switch you into realizing, oh, that's only happening with one group of people that I don't like. And that's not true. People who run churches do it. People who contribute to all of your favorite political heroes do it. Because they have the money and the means to do terrible shit and have no consequences. What you should be upset about is the system in which it can occur, and even if those people are caught, nothing happens to them, regardless of who they vote for. That's what you should be upset about. That's what I'm upset about. That the rich don't even go to prison the way the poor do. That's what upsets me. But when a group of people make a movie that's supposed to hit you right in your feelings, and then they end that movie and do a Q&A and they're like, well, you know this is all because of those dirty liberals, then you go, go fuck yourself. Because are there some people that take advantage of the weak that vote liberal? Yeah. But there's also conservative folks that do that too. And there's non-political folks. And there's people that are not American that do it. And, hey, the problem is that it's happening at all. So that's one of the things. My next thing, Donnie Darko. That wasn't the next thing, but I will talk about Donnie Darko for a second. I watched it, and I was like, huh, this is pretty cool. Kind of dig it. Someone referred to it as a reverse... what is that movie called? It's a reverse... It's a Wonderful Life. It's a movie about someone finding out that they actually should be dead. And that was kind of interesting. And it's obviously very hot topic-y in its theming. It's one of those movies where obviously it's like kind of cult status, and the folks that dig it, you know, they dig it for a reason. I can't remember the guy's name. Was it Richard Stanley? The dude who wrote and directed that movie. Let me see. See if I can get his name really quick. Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko. Donnie Darko. Richard Kelly. That's right. Richard Kelly. So, Oh, apparently he also did Domino. I heard Domino was alright. But the thing I love about... He also worked on World's Greatest Dad. Okay. And then a bunch of movies I've never heard of before. A lot of movies about Donnie Darko, or the sequel to Donnie Darko. Anyway, the thing I love about Richard Kelly and Donnie Darko is Donnie Darko almost felt like one of those accidental hits. And there's a couple of movies like this where, like, it came out just at the right time, and it got just the right audience, and it just so happened to be at the perfect time. You know what I mean? So when folks talk about Donnie Darko and how much they love it, it's almost like a product of where they were at the time. And maybe Donnie Darko isn't actually that good. I'm not gonna point out other movies that do that, or movie series, but there are some things that they just hit at the right time, and I feel like Donnie Darko did that. Because I don't hate the film. I don't think it's really, really, really shitty, but I do kind of understand why someone wouldn't like it, and I completely understand why. I completely understand why you would like it, but I do think it's one of those like accidental hits. And I think that's proven when you look at, what is it, Richard Stanley? Yeah. When you look at his other film, like Southland Tales, because Southland Tales is bonkers. That's, I believe that's like one of the movies, there are less than 5 movies that I can think of that I literally just shut off. Like, I don't really do that. Like, for me, I put on a movie and it's like, well, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. Maybe I have to turn it off to pick it up later, where it's like, okay, well, something's come up. I gotta pause this and I'll come back to it. But very rarely have I started a movie and just turned it off, and I did that with Southland Tales. Because I think about 20 minutes in, I was just like, I'm done. I'm done with this. So I think that is also a way to prove that maybe it was an accident, Donnie Darko. Maybe that was an accident. And now the other thing. The other thing that I wanted to talk about, if anyone is still here, or if the zit has scared everybody off. Hold on, something weird about my settings that I'm checking up on. Huh. Interesting. Sorry about that. Some of the settings on my thing I use to stream have changed, and I don't know exactly how it looks. Okay, all right. So you may or may not know, I imagine you know, that there's currently a writer's strike as well as an actor's strike. And you know, the actors and the writers are just asking for... I thought the movie had potential. It had a neat story, but all the characters were unlikable. The dialogue felt forced. Half the scenes were making arguments with straw men, and the other half of the movie was pointless filler. We can't see the zit, so you know. Give it time. It's waiting. It's waiting like a monster at the bottom of the ocean. It was one of those situations where, and I don't know, it's been a while since I had one of these zits, because I'm technically an adult. I'm supposed to be past my awkward hormonal teenage years, but I thought I had broken my nose because my nose was so sensitive, and like I was like touching it and it felt like, wow, why does my entire nose hurt if anything touches it? And then it slowly, like the area of effect slowed up, and then I was like, what is going on? And then I looked in the mirror and was like, oh, one part's getting red. There's going to be a zit somewhere. Cool. Rad. So excited. But yeah, Shadow, I have to rewatch Donnie Darko. And there's so many other movies that I need to watch for the first time. But yeah, it's been a hot minute since I've seen the Darko. But the other thing I was gonna talk about. Oh, I also didn't mention the other movie that was basically Christian propaganda. I think the movie The Essential Church. It came out like this weekend. its tagline is God versus government. Oh, okay. Yeah. I can talk about this shit. So it's about 3 pastors who face risk of imprisonment and fines because they reopened their churches during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, I haven't seen the film, but I imagine that they are going to paint these gentlemen as heroes because they were not going to sit idly by at the they're not going to sit idly by during the COVID pandemic when they need those tithes. I mean, those people to show up at the church and you know, get their fill of Jesus and give us their money. I mean, to be filled with the Holy Spirit and for our coffers to be filled with their money. I'm just saying. And maybe they're trying to regain some of their losses during the COVID pandemic by producing this documentary and then getting money off of it. Maybe. But here's the deal, man. Here is the deal. And I've said it before, maybe not on here, but I've said it before. Say what you want about Mormon theology. Mormons, not Christians, Mormons. Which there is a difference. Look it up. In Mormon theology, you are not paid for being a pastor. It's not a paid position. You go get a real job, and then you are also the leader of your church. And I believe that's an important distinction. Because in the Mormon faith, if you are called to lead people, it has nothing to do with money. And that is the one thing, well, actually, one of 2 things I deeply respect about Mormon people and what they are devout to. I deeply respect that. Because to me, if you are called by a higher power to lead people, you don't give a shit about a paycheck. That's worldly things. That's things that have to do with the world. From the producer of Wish Upon a Unicorn. So, with that in mind, I see a story about churches being upset that they can't meet in person. And I think of 2 things. I think of how many times I heard in church, look, we got a crisis of giving. We got a crisis of giving. Remember, you guys got a tithe. Like, this church can't survive without money. We can't survive without money. We survive basically on donations, conveniently untaxed donations. But we survive on just donations. Like, there's no way we can legitimize a staff of all of these people that work in offices if we don't get enough donations. There was always a graph. There was always a graph showing how much money they got in donations and what they need to, and it was never equal, right? I remember that, such an emphasis on giving money. And then in the COVID pandemic, I also remembered a church could exist on Twitch and make money the same way Twitch streamers do. They could. You would just have to find a way to teach your congregation to use the internet in a way that could give them money. And it's not hard. Shadow just did it. Shadow's tithe is the only reason I eat. That's not true. But when the COVID pandemic hit, I was like, these folks could rake in the money. Because they can put that stuff online. They can get a stream going. Maybe you don't use Twitch. Like, get one nerd in your congregation and be like, we need to set up a stream with a donation button. And you could have made money without the facilities needed for a church. So I saw the trailer for this movie, and I'm like, okay, so what we're doing is we're making the men martyrs who looked at a stay-at-home order from the government and said, nope, we need people to come back to our church. Why? Because that's where the Holy Spirit is. Not because a lot of our church members are old and they can't figure out how to use a streaming service, and they can't give us their money that way. That's how I saw it. There is absolutely no fucking reason. There is absolutely no fucking reason you can't set it up to where people hear the good word through your computer screen. There's no way. There's no reason. There's no reason you can't set it up. What you may not be able to set up is a way to get money off of those people. That's something you may not have the ability to do, which, by the way, is not hard. It's not even a difficult thing to do. Honestly, you could hire somebody for a day to set it up for you, and then just come on in on Sunday. And some churches did that, and some churches were fine. But I imagine if I were to watch this film, and of course this is based on not seeing it. This is based on assumptions. I could be very wrong, and I will eat my words, and I will admit that I was wrong. But I have a feeling that these three pastors probably have very large churches filled with people that are not technically literate, and they realized, oh shit, we are losing money every week. We cannot meet because we don't have a congregation that could give us money digitally. That's what I'm pretty sure happened. So then they said, oh, well, now if we make this a murder situation where people are literally dying because of a disease that we're transporting to each other, if we can convince them that no, that's not what's happening. What's happening is that we're being discriminated against because of our religious beliefs. If we can convince them that that is actually what is happening, then we can get more money and more support from people all over the country, because what is actually happening is the government and the people in charge are like, hey, if there is any way we can prevent the death of human beings during a pandemic, we should do it. I don't even know how I began that sentence, so I don't know how to end it. I just know that if your first thought when the governing body says, hey, people are dying, it may not be a good idea to physically meet in a church. If your first thought is, well, Satan's got a hold of you, brother. It's like, well, the reason is to keep people alive. Probably, you know, not Satan. But as we know, Satan is nowhere near the churches, right? Not in America. It's just insane. It's just insane to me. So we have the Essential Church and we have Sound of Freedom. One is saying government bad because government wanted to stop churches from letting people in and possibly prevent more death. That makes them bad and makes our pastors martyrs and saints because they could go to prison. Oh. Radon leaks in a church can't stop me. But listen to that. 3 pastors face imprisonment and unlimited fines. Prison and unlimited fines. Shudder at the thought of imprisonment and unlimited fines. It's like, the apostles were imprisoned a couple times. They were also poor as fuck. And they were actually martyred. Your pastors are in suits, enjoying, like, their best food. Enjoying pretty, I mean, even if I don't even know the pastors that involved. I'm sure if I were to look them up, I'm pretty sure they're living pretty decent lives, right? They lead decent enough lives that they didn't go to prison, I don't think. It says they face imprisonment and unlimited fines, which means they were not fined and or imprisoned. right? So nothing happened to them. The threat. That's the persecution, the threat of imprisonment and unlimited fines. My gosh, what will we do? Well, unlimited fines, by and large, that's a punishment that ends itself, because if it's unlimited fines, they take all your money, and then they can't take any more of your money. In terms of imprisonment, isn't that what you signed up for when you started believing in Jesus? Isn't that, like, in the Bible a bunch of times? Because you aren't being imprisoned, you aren't being tortured, you aren't being really persecuted upon. If you go to Starbucks and get a latte, and then get online and complain about being persecuted against, you're not being persecuted. Oh, man. Insane. Absolutely insane. That's a movie that, like, I want to watch, but I also don't want to watch. Oh my gosh, there's a store for the Essential Church. Oh my gosh. They have merch opportunities? Who would have fucking guessed? My God. Let's count how many pieces of merch they have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 14 pieces of wearable clothing on your torso. So there's there's 12 different shirts, there's 2 sweaters, there's 3 different fucking hats. There are 3 stickers, one of which says resist tyranny, honor God. Yeah, you're resisting tyranny by putting that on your fucking vehicle, you dope. A sticker sheet, you can get all the stickers. You can get all the stickers for cheap. Oh, and a poster for $32 fucking dollars. Unlimited makes me think they're being fined for each additional person attending their church. If we want to stop the fine, stop attending. Yeah, no. And then they have the fucking balls. They have the fucking balls to just have a give button on their website. Man, fuck off. How many people died during COVID? Hold on, let's look at that. Hold on. Which, by the way, this is, if you ask them, it's probably, this is probably a lie. If you ask them, the World Health Organization is lying just to prevent people from seeing the light of Jesus. Read the testimonials on their site? No, I don't want to do that. So according to the World Health Organization, cumulative deaths is at 6,952,522. 6 million people. 6 million people, right? And this is for a disease that is preventable with just an ounce of prevention, right? You figure? Just an ounce of prevention. But what matters more is that we're allowed to meet in church physically. Dear Lord. And they're comparing it. And they're fucking comparing it to Caesar. They're comparing it to being literally martyred. Did the U.S. government murder anybody? Did they? Give me an example of them murdering Christians for this. Give me an example. Then you can compare it to Caesar. Give me an example. Give me one. Show me a video. Now I'm angry. Show me a goddamn video of anyone being murdered because they had a gathering during COVID. Please. And if they were killed by COVID, that wasn't the government. That was your stupid ass. So, please. Oh my God. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. So, okay, just based on... Now I'm reading the testimonials, which I said I wouldn't do. So from what I can gather, they're comparing, which I said earlier, they're comparing the persecution of the church fathers to the persecution they face now. Once again, how many of them were murdered publicly? How many of them were executed? Yeah, because no actual critic is going to fucking see it. Because they're too busy watching movies. Oh, wow. That's... Also $30 for a fucking hat. And $32 for a fucking movie poster. Come on. Come on. Wow. I didn't even get to the other thing I wanted to talk about. I also love that I'm using this kind of setup to talk about it. Because I know for sure that there would be Christians out there that would be annoyed that I am using the format or using kind of the images that they use at their churches. And I'm talking about how the Essential Church, the movie, is a scam to make you to get you angry and make you believe that the government really came down on the churches, which if they did, you know what would happen? We'd start taxing the churches. You want to know what would happen? How we would come down on you? The government, the big hand of the government, the evil of men. You know how it would happen? We'd start taxing. So that all that money that comes in untaxed would be filtered through actually helping out the rest of the country. That's how they'd come and get you. They'd go, let's see, you made that much money? Well, let's take that, the amount of money that businesses and all of the rest of us take. God, fuck. I can't. I gotta stop talking about this. I'm getting too angry. Getting too angry. The other thing was, and I mean it is movie related, shockingly. The writer's strike, and the actor's strike, which has led to certain creators, mostly TikTok, that I've noticed. One of the best church movies is, believe me. That movie, I always have it saved. I always have it saved on whatever streaming service, then I don't get to it in time, and then I get pissed. Because I'm sure I'll love it, but I just can't. It just always happens. It always happens that way. I get distracted by movies like Thinner. Or, what other dumb movie did I watch instead? All of the Friday the 13th. Which, by the way, a trailer for Saw 10 has been released, and someone who watched all of the Saw movies, my reaction is, it looks like a Saw movie. If you like Saw movies, you might want to go watch it. That's just kind of how I feel about it. But with the writers and actors strike on TikTok, there has been an interesting shift where creators on TikTok, people who make a bunch of quick little videos for their living, have either A, been getting talks from studios to promote their movies now that actors won't, and writers are no longer writing for the studios. And the TikTok creators are now getting ready to jump through hoops and start rewording their existence so that what they're doing is not scab work. Because if the actors have agreed we're not going to promote movies during this time, and then you as a TikTok creator who loves movies says, hey, I'll do that for you, Mr. Studio owner, if you want to give me a whole bunch of money to do it, what you're scabbing. You're scabbing. And I've never even been close to a creator that has a big influence at all. But I do know that if you are making videos, I'm thinking about two very specific creators here who have a much more influence and much more followers than I do in anything and everything. But if you are making videos where you are rewriting the hoops you have to jump through to make yourself feel better about the content you create, guess what? You're a scab. Also, the entire industry of movie making will not respect you, and whatever you gain now, you will lose if and when things go back to the status quo, because the status quo made the entertainment industry the most money. So they'll get back to it with the unions and the agreements that they come to. But what's gonna happen is the new media creators and influencers are gonna get thrown away because it's just that. New media, TikTok, small influencers. And you may have 1 million, 2 million followers. You may have that. Yeah, sure. But it's on an app that literally could get shut down. It's not the juggernaut that is movie making. You don't actually have a leg to stand on when it all comes down to it. And in the two creators that I'm thinking of specifically, one of them just kind of made a video going like, look, I'm not an actor. I'm not a writer. So if a company wants to pay me to promote their stuff, I mean, what's the big deal? And it's like, well, it's kind of a big deal because what you're basically saying is, hey, all the people that I claim to respect and love in terms of loving movies, I don't care about your plight. I'm going to help out the people that are actively putting you down because I want to make that paycheck. And let's be honest, then I will be seen as someone maybe akin to your status, being an actor or a writer. And you won't be. You'll be the guy that took a few $1,000s, a couple thousand ducats for sure, so that these movies can promote some shit because the actors won't. And then after the actors come back, they're gonna be like, okay, cool, we don't need you anymore. And then all the actors will be like, yeah, go fuck yourself. It's a bad idea. You shouldn't have done it. And then there's another guy who, I mean, I feel like the the Christian martyrdom has taken a hit this evening. And by evening, I mean morning, unless of course you're watching it in the evening in a different time zone. I guess the coffee kicked in. I'm talking quickly. One creator literally celebrated getting a possible TV development deal, and it sounds like it's through a Christian company, so probably will go nowhere. And after all of the comments kind of went, hey man, you a scab, you scabbing pretty hard, bro. That creator came out with the classic call me whatever you want, because you're not fighting me, you're fighting me and my God. And I was like, well, this guy can go fuck himself. That guy can go fuck himself. I'm telling you right now, if during a time in which thousands of people are not working, maybe thousands, lots of people are not working due to a strike to get better wages, to be treated fairly, and your response is to go brag about work that you're getting at a time in which other people are not working to get better conditions. And then those people go, hey man, that's probably not a good idea. And your response is, well, Jesus loves me? Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Go absolutely fuck yourself. I don't know that guy. And if I were to write it, I'd just be another voice in the thousands of comments and videos that dude is getting. Go fuck yourself. Because that. What is the tenet? Like, what is the sole tenet of Christianity, right? Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. It's not, hey, brag about your successes, and then when people go, hey, your success is at the detriment of others, to go, yeah, well, God is backing me in my success. Maybe God wants you to be unsuccessful. Maybe God wants you to be treated terribly. Go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself, dude. And you've outed yourself as somebody who will play that card during any adversity, which means you're just priming yourself for just Christian shit, which is a path, is a path you can take and you can live semi-comfortably, but there's a reason Christian films aren't winning any Oscars. There's a reason that Christian films aren't the talk of the town. And I know they will say, oh, it's because it's a fallen world and Satan runs Hollywood and Satan runs everything that happens to not like the things we make, of course. But in reality, if you want to jump into that echo chamber and only make your money there, like, I hope you enjoy it, but also go fuck yourself. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. We don't care. We'll keep making the shit we like. And by we, I'm not making shit. But the folks who make the shit that people like will just keep doing that. And you can go make the shit that will play in churches and on church trips, conveniently. I don't know. I'm done getting angry. I think it's time to play PowerWash Simulator. But hot damn. Whole lot of Christian talk here on Church Has Glasses. Who would have guessed? Usually we're just talking about movies and dumb things. Bum, 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 bum. Let's go. What am I up to, huh? What am I? Ooh, clean the fire helicopter. What? I feel like I've been avoiding the forest cottage. We've got one heck of a dirty copter on our hands. What a great sentence. We've got one heck of a dirty copter on our hands. If you take the T out, and if you take the T and replaced it with a P, then this is like a 1940s 1940s comment about a corrupt cop. We got one heck of a dirty copper on our hands. Your buddy Cal got into a real spot of bother on Mount Rushless. Poor guy was so delirious from volcanic fumes, he thought the mayor's hellish feline was up there. He's fine now, but the copter looks like something dug up from the bowels of the earth, which it nearly was. We've got TV crews arriving later, so can you do what you do so well? It sure got us out of a jam. Thanks, pal. Let's go clean a copter. Go to a showing of The Essential Church and replace the film reels with the Vespa. That's disrespectful. Oh, wow, this is a big-ass copter. Hot damn. This copter is huge. That's a little loud. It's a little loud. Bring that down. Bring that down a smidge, huh? Okay, I brought it down a smidge, and now you can't hear it at all. What happened? What happened here? There we go. I feel like I still need to bring it up a little bit. Well, something that, when I was in college, I took a class. I went to a private Christian university, by the way. But when I was in college, I took a class called Christianity and the Creative Process, and the guy who was running it was a super cool professor. He was a doctorate, and he wrote his doctorate thesis on Star Trek. And that doctorate thesis got him one of his first jobs, which was writing the Trivial Pursuit questions for the Trivial Pursuit for Star Trek. The dude, huge nerd, great professor, great guy. And it was basically a class about how, like, a person's faith can affect their creative process, how they create, how they look at story, how they look at what they're creating, the purpose of what they're creating, things like that. And I remember he said something, because he also wrote some articles and whatnot about Christian movies and non-Christian movies. And one thing he wrote is, why are Christian values in movies, in successful movies, not written by Christians? One would be like Juno and Knocked Up, which was, you know, let's keep the baby, or some of the Christian epics, like, why were those all made by non-Christian people and they were successful? And one thing he said that is, like, obvious. It's not like something that is really profound, but it is true. He said it's because Christian creators, Christian movie makers, all that matters is the message. So the quality of the product immediately sinks. It doesn't matter if the acting isn't great, because what matters is the message. It doesn't matter if we can't shoot anything and everything looks flat and garbage, because what matters is the message. It doesn't matter if the sound isn't really matching up well and we didn't get a good sound guy, because what matters is the message. So I started thinking about that with movies like this and The Sound of Freedom, and it's like, all it takes is for them to start giving a shit about that stuff, and then it turns into, see, we can make good movies. Even though I think Sound of Freedom is a great example. Now it's also being powered by absolutely insane conspiracy theories that make no sense, like QAnon and whatnot. So now it needs to be co-opted by something else to get that that money, to get that quality. And you know, it's a bummer. It's a bummer and a half to think about. You are right, it would be fun to get the fat spy on that thing. I'm trying to think of moments in the Fat Spy that would be considered, you know, worldly, super anti-Christian. Well, there was rock and roll music, which is already a little dangerous. That's potentially dangerous to have rock and roll music. Because what does rock and roll music lead to? Dancing, which leads to what? Premarital sex. How about the Christian horror movie from a few months ago, Nefarious? That was a Christian movie, right? Because it looked like it could go either way. It could just be a low-budget horror movie, or it could be a Christian movie. That was a Christian movie? I need to fuck it. And that was one of those movies where I was like, why does this look like it could be good, yet it also looks like it's absolutely shit? I would love to see a church group accidentally go see the BIG. Oh, that would be funny. Okay, so the tire... Really? That's what you're gonna get me on? Oh my gosh, this game sometimes. This game sometimes. Where's the landing gear? Oh, really the nooks and crannies of this thing, huh? What in the world is still dirty on this thing? Where? Oh my gosh, if I can't find it when I'm this close to it, how am I going to find it at all? But yeah, Nefarious, man. They're getting good. They're getting better. They're getting better at tricking people. Because that just looked like a potentially, like, what's the word? A potentially good horror movie. Like one of those low budget horror movies that kind of takes people by surprise. It seems like it could be that. Because I remember watching that trailer and I was like, And that's always a fun moment when you're watching a movie trailer and you're like, there's something about this one. Because part of me is saying, yeah, that looks dope, but part of me is also saying there's something going on with this one. I don't know what, but there is something. They still can't get their movies right. It just boils down to two people in a dark room making badly written arguments like Saving Christmas. Because, yeah, it was like, if I remember correctly, the whole point was one guy is a serial killer and another dude was interviewing him, and the serial killer is saying, I'm actually possessed by a demon and I'm going to transfer it to you. Right? That was the whole point. And then I'm sure the what's it called? The journalist is like, well, demons aren't real, and then the guy's gonna be like, oh yeah, demons aren't real, then explain this. And it's gonna be like, oh well, blah blah blah. And then he's going to start seeing some shit which prove demons are real. So then the guy's going to be like, well, this challenges my atheistic understanding of the world. Telling you, Doc, even if I'm goosed on CO2, I can still tell the difference between a limping ginger tomcat. You know? And then Glenn Beck shows up and he realizes demons are real. Was also like something that I thought was interesting. We had those Senate hearings about UAPs or whatever. UFOs, but sleeker and cooler. And I remember thinking as that was happening, even though the guy, the more we think about what they say, it's not really like a confirmation of a lot. We have found unidentified floating objects with non-human things on it. It's like, okay, well, if that means it's a drone that someone has made for the first time that you haven't seen before and it's hit a bird, that also matches that criteria. But I was sitting there thinking, like, what are the pastors saying at church on Sunday after you have an alien talk at Congress? Like, what are you saying to your church if now some of them believe that aliens are real? What do you say to them? I imagine it's something to the it's something close to or literally, well, you can't believe the government anyway because, well, they're trying to stop us. They're trying to stop us from reaching the most people. You've seen it. They've done horrible things like say, hey, when there's a pandemic that could kill people, you should probably stay home. I mean, what a tyrannical government to tell us to stay home on Church Sunday because of a pandemic. How dare they, really? I feel like I have no... I have no, like, order that I'm doing this in. A shrimp's heart is in its head. Are you saying that shrimp just think too much on their feelings? They just start feeling their feelings and being honest about them rather than analyzing them? Are you a shrimp therapist, Squirtle? Cockpit door is clean. I also know I've said it before, but when it comes to Christians and Christianity, the only way it really works to convince people is you have to convince them that they are the underdogs, which is only possible by creating the narrative that they are being, you know, bullied. They're being, discriminated against for one thing or the other. Come on. Come on. You got up here before. You got up here before. How did you do it? There we go. Boom. Hydraulic piping. Clean. The heart is located in its head, so when people say, think with your head, do shrimps think with their hearts? Yes. That's exactly what it means. I find it weird that they put this thing, like, just far enough. Let's rotate again. One of these is rotate. There we go. Let's rotate. Snorkel connector. Oh, yes. Shrimp. you over there for a minute. Also, wasn't Donnie Darko Patrick Swayze's last movie? Am I right about that? I think it was. Which is kind of a bummer. It's Peaceways. How successful he was and the types of movies he has been in. It's just kind of a bummer that that would be his last one, I'm pretty sure. One thing for sure, letting the chief know, I'm predicament save my smoky bacon. I owe you. He had to say smoky bacon because he's a firefighter or works with the firefighters. He couldn't just say save my bacon, he had to say smoky bacon because he works with fire. Boom, tire clean. Landing gear leg cleaned. Oh, man. Dude, I need to fix my posture. Well, there's only one person that can do that, and that's you. I'll tell you one thing that helps. Get those chairs in your life that actually promote good posture. 'Cause for a while, I was sitting on a chair that I think probably did irreversible damage to my back. That was not made for the human to sit on for long periods of time. And, you know, I paid the price, and I'm still paying it. That's one thing I would suggest. chairs they have at school suck balls. Well, yeah, because they don't care about your back. They care about your mind. Not really. Fuselage. Yeah, for a while I had a chair that was technically my brother's, but he moved away and he couldn't take it with him. So I was using it for a while, and it was a chair made of skateboards. Kind of like an arty, kind of like an arty, carpenter's project. And, I sat in it for a while, and boy, howdy, it just ruined my back. Because it didn't have any give, and it wasn't really designed for butt cheeks. It was designed for feet. So I, you know. Gosh, I gotta get up there to get the last piece of that, don't I? Son of a biscuit. Ah, gotcha. What was the last piece of that blade? Oh my god, it's at the top of it. Of course it is. Of course it's the top of it. Hoog. How am I only 50% done? So, on the freeway, it's not a freeway I take often, but a freeway that I occasionally take. There's one of those buildings on it, on the route. And every time I saw it, there's another good thing that came out of this. You remember we moved into Florine's old place? Uh-huh. How do I know this is going to lead to me cleaning up more of your shit, Calvin? I guess who's a copter pilot now? I don't know. I'm guessing you. saw one of those buildings, and all the time I remember thinking, like, man, that building is really small. What could possibly be in there? And then it was always, I'd always see it kind of at night. Like, it was always kind of, it was always dark enough outside that I couldn't really see what was around the building. And then one time, finally, I was seeing it, like, during the middle of the day. And straight up, it was a training ground for the fire department. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. It's a tiny building. Because it's not a real building. Anyway, pointless story, but true. Tail rotor drive shaft. Fuselage clean. Aha. Tail rotor drive shaft. Tail rotor drive shaft. I don't know why, but it sounds a little bit like a band. Nooks and crannies of this bad boy. Is Donnie Darko the only movie you saw recently, Shadow? Or was Donnie Darko just the most egregious? Most deserving of your ire and your anger and your frustration? And that was something else that quote-unquote creators, I will say, movie creators on the TikTok, on the YouTubes, on the everywhere, they said, if we can't promote new films, what are we gonna talk about? And I'm like, dude, like, in the grand scheme of everything, all of these creative outlooks, creative outputs, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, they're all relatively new in the grand scheme of entertainment. And there are so many movies that people don't even know about because, you know, they came out years ago and they weren't popular enough to set the world on fire, right? Talking about your random little gems that you're not going to hear about because they aren't Jurassic Park or Blade Runner or Indiana Jones. Like, there are so many movies from those different eras of time. That you could talk about. Like, you will never run out of movies to talk about. And if you don't have the ability to pivot to talk about other movies, then do you even really like movies, or do you just like the response on those platforms by talking about movies? I don't know how we're going to get that clean. Just being honest. I feel like I might just have to hit it with a cleaning solution. Rotor mast is real tough cookie. aren't you hitting the blade? Nothing like cleaning up a helicopter for a group of people that save lives from fire. Fire, such a powerful thing that we need an entire department to handle it. The fire department. Dum 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 dum. Dum 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 dum. I don't know why I'm making a commercial for the fire department in my brain. Just don't want to. There we go. Makes that easier. Cleaning wasn't doing shit. Interesting. This engine is shit. Oh, man. Why does this engine have to have so many nooks and crannies? you put a cover on all this? I mean, I don't know anything about designing a functioning helicopter, but you couldn't put like a cover on this shit to prevent this from happening? Every nook and cranny just getting blasted with something. I feel like I got a toothbrush out on this thing. Engine mount. Rotor blades, water tank, and the tail. Alright, well the rotor blades are pretty easy at this point, I think. There's one. Rotor blades. Rotor blades. Not roller blades. Rotor blades. Your rotor blades. Alrighty. The water tank and the something shaft. Water tank has literally one. What could it be? Oh, really? Water tank, done. And then... Oh. Oh, and it's literally just the nooks and crannies of his POS. Jeez, how am I going to clean you if I can't even see it? Son of a bitch. There we go. Boom. Got ourselves a clean helicopter here. Boom. Took a while. That took a little while. Flawless again. You're a class act. As it happens, when the TV crews and senators found out we'd only rescued Cal and not the cat, they were no-show. Still, at least the copter will be nice and clean to go back to Columbus. Thanks again. You're welcome here anytime. If you're into adding an element of danger to your hose work, let me know and I'll put a word on. Was that a slight dig? Like, yeah, if you want to do some real hose work, you know, instead of this wussy shit. New items? What possible new items? Oh, that. Well, I can't even buy that yet. Buy this. Oh, extra long. How much? Okay, so I got $2,000. That's gonna be 5,000. And these things are preventing me from having fully kitted out power washers that I already have. Here. Not really lacking in the power washer department. I'm kind of killing it with what I got. H&G Hexenjager. You're two humble confectioners, brother and sister, living on our own deep in the woods of a national park, and there's absolutely nothing strange about that. We are also the creators of the finest gingerbread ever to grace the county. But to stay on top, we need constant reinvention, and our dream forest home has been a grubby grotto. Become a grubby grotto, affecting our ability to dream up wonderful new recipes. Can you come out and restore our cottage and with it our creative flow donka? Sure, you creepy sons of bees. Let's go clean up the cottage that you definitely murder children in. Alrighty, does it include the fence? It does include the fence. Okay, we got a fence here. We got creepy basement that has weird colors on it. Alright, we got a place to chop wood here. Let's start with the fence. I know it's not for people to be suspicious, but we really are who we say we are. Well then, stop talking to me, creepy. Boom, gate done. to have. Boom, stone wall cleared up. Imagine they're sitting there like, why are they taking care of the gate first? I'll tell you why. Lack of nook and crannies. The way to guarantee that this section is done. We'll move on to a little bit more complicated stuff. Second gate. Oh, that's part of the stone wall in this scenario? Okay, seems like it'd be a post, but yeah, don't want to argue with the person making the level. It just doesn't seem right. Why am I missing about this game? Say that makes no sense. The other gate did it without any of that, but we still move on. Interesting. You tell me there's no dust on the wood that's here? None whatsoever? No dirt has hit the wood. That's out here by the dirty ass fence. No dirt has hit the wood. just only 10% of the job. Yep, 10% of the job was just fats. Alrighty, let's take a look, see at what we got here. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. Door cleaned. Each step. Alrighty. The very front part of the house is clean. Gonna take a minute and get a little water. Get a little water break. It's important to stay hydrated. You all know that. Important to stay hydrated, especially now. Moves here just a week after that bank robbery. People move house all the time. So they're bank robbers posing as chocolatiers? Question mark. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Right there. Oh, man. Because I know... You know, even if I clear all that off, it's not going to be enough. No. Gosh darn it. It's kind of just bright and colorful. I was falling slowly. You can't even tell when you... Oh, well, you can sort of. Spoke too soon. Boom. Weather vane. Clean. I'd say a bear slight resemblance to Flutie McGee, but she was much younger than I am now. And such a happy soul. Look, man, you robbed a bank, okay? I'm not here to judge, I'm here to clean. With a power washer. As long as you didn't do anything to the mayor's cat, I'm pretty sure everybody will forgive you, because the cat seems to be the only thing anyone's ever talking about in this town. My brother's crazy. He said we should go to Arizona for a week. Yeah, I mean, it's hot as balls there, man. Temperatures are getting outrageous everywhere, but Arizona is not the place I'd want to test out just how extreme they could get. It's 105 in Arizona right now. It's fucking raining. Yep. Extreme weather, man. It's gonna probably be the norm for a while. Completely distracted from the plan. clean up the chimney area a little bit. What am I doing? I'm getting distracted by all the other work. Where on the main roof is there still... that's gonna bother me. Where on the main roof? That's bullshit. I'll sign you up for a trip to London. Doesn't help that the main roof is yellow, so when I highlight the dirt, it doesn't show me where the dirt is. Oh, you son of a is it? Son of a bitch, where is it? How much is the wood cleaner? I'll go anywhere with rain. Well, then go to Arizona. They got rain. It's just also accompanied with very, very hot weather. So, door frame, done. Arizona, what? That shit ain't rain. That's devil's tears. It's hot sauce. Yeah, it's pretty bad out there, but I agree with you. I enjoy the rain. Hansel looks nothing like Rocky McKee. Hansel has a huge beard, long unruly hair, and defeated eyes. Once again, you don't have to convince me you guys are not bank robbers. Like, I'm literally just here to clean the shit up. If your money is green, I don't care. Yeah, I'm definitely I enjoy the autumn and winter months myself. Are there any Christmas movies in the public domain? the first year I did public domain movies, I tried to do all Christmas movies for the month of December. And there are Christmas movies. There's not a lot of them. And them being Christmas movies is like slightly at best. Like, because there are movies that take place around Christmas time, but they're not really about Christmas. And then there are some that Christmas happens in the movie at some point, but it's not really a Christmas movie. So yes and no. Yes and no. Oh, excuse me. Getting a little ass pain. Oh. Just a little bit of that ass pain. From sitting on your ass pain. From the people that brought you back pain, ass pain. Have you been sitting too long? Did you get your lazy ass up? Welcome to ass pain. From the same people that brought you back pain. Have you been lifting right? No, you haven't? Enjoy some back pain. Did you used to be young? Back pain. Now, is that an admission of guilt if you make a mural of your crimes? What type of dumbass would do that to the side of a building if they had robbed a bank? You finally got 50K. Well, I'll be damned. I need to make more high-cost options, but I just gotta come up with more, crazy stuff to offer. I threw up some stuff, but I don't think anyone's interested in doing those just yet. Wait. You have another hab on top of the one you have? Yeah, that's the plan. You just start doubling and tripling up hats. Some would call it crazy. I call it genius. What am I missing on this window frame? There we go. Clean window frame. Out of stock, can't triple. Well, no. We want to get other people encouraged to do so. Also, I think it's just a time limit. I don't know. I might be wrong. I don't remember exactly what I set it at. I know I set limits so that I wasn't just trying to balance like 8 hats on my head. Alright. There's also another one there for glasses. Pretty sure. There we go. I don't have to look for random. Is that sidewall complete? It looks like it's complete. Only got 11% left to clean this thing. Like the window from Rise of the Planet of the Apes. If anybody knows what I'm talking about. With James Franco. Mostly about Alzheimer's, then it turns into Planet of the Apes. Not as good as the other Planet of the Apes reboots, but pretty cool. Well, it's way better than the Mark Wahlberg one, but most film is better than that. I shouldn't blame Marky Mark, I should blame Tim Burton. I've still only seen the original Apes. You're talking about the OOOJ Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston? Those are pretty. The first couple are pretty dope, I think, and I think are kind of a great lesson in franchise movies. Because people always talk about like, oh wow, the franchise is really getting out there. And it's like, watch the Planet of the Apes franchise. That franchise got ridiculous quick. And then just, like, leaned into the ridiculous and just allowed it to wash over them. I think the reboots were pretty dope, too. But I do think they take themselves maybe just a little bit too seriously. Just a smidgen too seriously. Wait, you don't watch The Simpsons, right? Have you seen Planet of the Apes the musical? I have not. I have not watched a lot of Simpsons. I enjoy when I do watch The Simpsons. I think it's just too much of a daunting task to try and watch all of them. I tried, and then I was like, I just can't do this. It's too much of a time commitment. There's too much other stuff to watch and do. And also, I mean no offense to people who love The Simpsons. I understand the love. I appreciate the love. And so does The Simpsons. But, like, every time I talk to somebody who loved The Simpsons, they always give you, like, oh, well, you stop here. And it's like, I don't know, that just feels like lame. Like, built into it is this understanding that eventually they get really bad. Not really bad. They're just not as good anymore. And you're like, well, I don't know. It takes away my drive to really sit down and watch them. The Halloween specials. I enjoy that those are pretty brutal. The Halloween specials. We're at 99%. We're not even at the checklist. Oh, wow. Okay. Cellar door handles? Are you kidding? Which post is not clean? Oh, I know what that is. We're not doing that yet. I don't want to get rid of that yet. Oh, really? This? Jeez. Window frames. Back dormer wall. Oh, I see you, baby. Also, did my music just end? No, it's just a... Just the quiet fence posts. Fence posts, you say? Well, hold on. This, because this is... Oh, I can't get up there that way. Son of a bitch. This makes sense. Okay. Son of a bitch. All right. Posts. You're saying garden posts. This guy? This mother trucker? Solar doors, are you kidding? Window frame. Which window? Not that one. Not those. It's that. Oh, you son of a bitch. Done. Front gable roof. Front gable roof. The front Clark Gable roof. What does that mean? Oh, this side. Oh, donezo. I know exactly what's left. I don't want to get rid of it. It's just such fun art. See how much I can get rid of before it'll just disappear all of it. Boom. Once you have time to poor little Trixie do here, she's all mucked up. Well, that's a clean house. Boom. Thank you so much for making the cottage look wunderbar. Feels like a stain on our character has finally been removed. We can get back to our true passion. Also, into my mind has already left the recipe for a magnificent new custard strudel. Whatever gets new custard strudel out into the market. Clean the SUV for $150. My poor SUV, look at the state of it. Dropped the kids off at a play school, and this police had closed the National Park Drive for some reason, so I had to double back over the dirt roads to get home. Trixie wasn't built for roads like that. Isn't that what an SUV is for? Please help her look all cutesy again. From Beth Ryerson. Well, Beth, I'm going to do my absolute best to make Trixie look cutesy, because that's always the goal. All right, let's take a look at your vehicle here. Related to Ned Ryerson? That was my first thought, too. Ned Ryerson. I was having trouble remembering the first name. I knew it was Ryerson. And though he says it like 100 times. Ned Ryerson. Groundhog Day is a good movie. For those that may have not seen it. Definitely get on some Groundhog Day. Whenever you can. Deeper clean on the windows and the glass. What is the bonnet? What is the bonnet? Am I high? What is the bonnet of the vehicle? Boom. Awesome. Is this the water jet people? I'm having a frightful time with the ordinary. Any chance you can give it a quick whiz? You want me to piss on something? Bonnet is UK for hood. That was why Bill Murray kept repeating the same day. The universe wouldn't let him move on unless he was properly insured. Oh, man. Oh, she's so beautiful and just in time for my afternoon catch-up with the girls. Thanks muchly, XOXOXOX. What? Clean the penny farthing. Fudge, yeah. That looks dope. Came a cropper on an old bicycle. Seems an element of rust may have crept in and seized the ready step blocks. Give the boy a quick swish. And there's a shiny threepenny for you. Hells yeah, dude. Hells yeah. That is dope. I would buy that. It is hard to determine if you're actually cleaning the thing. Or something. Big wheel. Okay, so the handlebars. Boom. Sheriff find our senior citizens at the mansion. I gotta clean up this fucking mayor's mansion? Really? Actually, I think I'm gonna take a look at the mansion. Alright, I cleaned the penny farthing. What a tremendous job! He's come out an absolute dream. If he didn't ride so beautifully, I'd flog him to a museum. Oh, only $350 for a fucking mansion? Finder, someone with too much time and egg on their hands has seen fit to bombard my magnificent abode with ballistics most foul. Don't ask me why. I'm as fair and noble a mayor as this town has ever seen. As I assure you appreciate, security is at a premium right now, so I'm afraid I won't be allowing you onto my property. Instead, I provide you with a voucher for an extra long washer extension. It's for the cheapest one. I'm not made of money. One last thing. I might be a small element of graffiti on the gates. Please remove that as well. Wow, what a douche. What a douche. In other words, hey, take your time. I forgot I had a second hat on my hat. What? Yeah, kind of deserve it. You a douche. Always like, I'll give you a voucher for the cheapest one. By the way, hit my mansion from the street. What a douchebag. Good thing I'm a professional and I bring the right tools to the job. Colossal number of eggs, isn't it? I understand it says he never seen such a sustained attack of eggs. Maybe don't be a shit mayor, dog. You got people looking for your frickin' cat. Sure, there's other problems to deal with. What about the crime rate? Huh? What about the roads? You got police out here looking for your frickin' cat. I've never egged a house. I've never egged nor TP'd a house. just a goody two-shoes. Sheer variety and hue of oak. I'm gonna head out. Have a wonderful rest of your day. You as well. Enjoy whatever it is you get up to this Sunday. May it be restful and pleasant for you. Later. See you tomorrow. I do have a Monday movie planned, and it looks like it might be a fun one. Hopefully, it is not another Fat Spy situations where I gotta call an audible at the last minute. This town really doesn't like this guy. Does your workspace have a logo? Only I want a job doing, but don't want anyone else finding out. Of course, the mayor is still worried about his frickin' cat. Nothing else in the world to worry about. This will be the last job of the day. To let it massage your brain. Apparently other people from the town have reported missing cats too. It was the same when I started watching wearing chinos. That's right. I kind of hate this mirror. I wish there was a setting to rip off some paint and be like, well, sorry, guess I won't take payment, but maybe shouldn't have went with the cheap nozzle that you went to buy me. Clean gates. I wonder if there's like secret clues in the graffiti on this about a group of people coming for the mayor. We're only at 90%, but I feel like this is... Fence caps. Oh. Okay. Wall bases. Garage walls. Stairs ornament. And then fence wall. There we go. Got your house. Got your fence. Many thanks for your work, Dirt Finder. More like kind of magnificent mansion. You conclude a multi-million-pound deal inside is not. Much obliged, you jerk. Clean the carousel. PowerWash, I've joined the traveling carnival, pitching up at a recreational ground. You may have seen us purchased a beautiful classic carousel, but I'm worried about being outgunned by the owners of bigger rides. It's pretty filthy. I was going to clean it myself, but then I thought, what would happen if I gave her a deep clean and really made her pop? Who'd want to slowly ride down a grubby helter-skelter when they can waltz around a pristine carousel, right? Make her ping, and we'll both clean up. You'll arrive in plain van, right? Don't want the competition to get the same idea. Alrighty, well, I think I'm going to call it there. Thank you to Shadow and Squirrel for hanging out. Shadow, big thanks for the continued subscription. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend, and I will be back tomorrow evening for a public domain film. So hopefully I'll see you folks there. Have a good one, and peace out.